Trump publicly admits he fired White House official as retaliation for impeachment testimony. He was very insubordinate.
Here's a summary of the article.
Donald Trump has appeared to admit he fired a senior White House official in part for the aide's involvement in the impeachment inquiry against him. He had given evidence to House committee hearings which led to Mr. Trump being impeached on charges of abuse of power and obstructing Congress relating to a campaign by the president to pressure Ukraine into investigating Joe Biden, a political rival. Mr. Trump's son, Donald Trump Jr., had earlier appeared to suggest Lieutenant Colonel Vindman and Gordon Sondland, who was recalled as U.S. ambassador to the European Union, were sacked for their testimony in the inquiry. The decorated Iraq veteran had listened in to a 25 July call between Mr. Trump and Volodymyr Zelensky in which the U.S. president pressed his Ukrainian counterpart to launch investigations into his Democratic political rivals. He did admit at a White House press briefing that Mr. Trump had withheld U.S. military aid to Ukraine at least in part to pressure Kiev to investigate conspiracy theories about the Democratic Party, saying, "I have news for everybody, get over it. There's going to be political influence in foreign policy." Despite Mr. Trump's assertion that his job is safe for the time being, there are suggestions he will be replaced by Mark Meadows, a Trump loyalist currently serving as a Republican congressman for North Carolina. Last week the literary agents for an anonymous government official behind the book A Warning, which claims to come from a Trump insider who describes themselves as part of the resistance to the president, denied that Dr. Coates was the secret author.
This post received a score of 102,213, with an upvote ratio of 84%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
See, this was Nixon's mistake. All you have to do is get acquitted and then you start firing people.
He kinda fired folks before he got acquitted too. Comey comes to mind.
That should have been the nail in the coffin.
This coffin had so many potential nails, they must have put a strike plate in there or something. It's called a Republican majority.
18 U.S. Code Section 1513, retaliating against a witness, victim, or an informant subsection E, whoever knowingly, with the intent to retaliate, takes any action harmful to any person, including interference with the lawful employment or livelihood of any person, for providing to a law enforcement officer any truthful information relating to the commission or possible commission of any federal offense, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 10 years, or both.
To expand on that with a recent unanimous SCOTUS decision.
Lol, like laws apply in America.
They do, you just have to be more poor.
It's not even poor, you just have to be weaker than the law. Yeah, that includes the poor, but also most of the middle class and large swaths of the semi-rich, millionaires, small business owners, etc. They may not get stop search just for looking trashy, but they're victimized through their assets. They have a lot to lose, and if they compete with the established powers, they'll get put back in their place just as violently, if not as directly.
True. It's easy to think anyone with a nicer car and house than you is elite, 1% etc., but it's not really the 1% that run the country and the world, it's the 0.01% that do. I think the only real way to challenge that power is to have some alliance amongst the 99.99%, basically all the people who don't have a private bunker in New Zealand.
This man literally does not give a fuck because he knows he's untouchable.
Really have no choice but to agree. Nothing that has come from this administration would have happened if they didn't have at least some guarantee that they were free to act with impunity.
When he gave his speech the other day after he was acquitted and he was talking about James Comey, he said, "If First wouldn't have fired him, I probably wouldn't even be here right now." I was like, WTF, he just admitted to obstruction again. Do you have a link by chance?
What a fever dream of reality we are living in. Fuck. I'm not even American, but wow.
To illustrate the kind of stress we're under over here, it's like when you're a kid and your parents discover a broken lamp. Meanwhile your parents are just going to punish both of you because nobody's fessing up, and your brother realizes he can now get away with stuff if nobody sees him do it and only suffer half a punishment. Your future is now going to be made up mostly of suffering for this kid's actions, and there's nothing you can do about it unless you spend the rest of your life hawking his actions and preemptively snitching. Then you learn your dad takes your brother's side almost always anyway, so even if you snitch you still risk getting in trouble yourself because your mom isn't taking a side and will treat every situation with bland fairness.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.